What is up, guys? Welcome to another Southern Charm pop-up episode. Guys, it was a shitstorm in the South on the last episode of Southern Charm, and we need to talk about it. So let's just get right into it. All right, guys. Obviously, last week's episode was a to be continued, and it was well worth the wait, right? So obviously it starts off with Austin admitting to Shep that he did in fact kiss Taylor, and Shep's reaction was not like what I thought it was going to be like at all. He was like very quick to like forgive him. Like he was like, okay, you know what? Like you guys wore a shoulder for each other to cry on. And he doesn't want to lose Austin as a friend. And I thought that Austin was going to get it a lot worse from Shep, but he didn't. And I'm wondering if it's because Shep knows that he's done some like shady stuff like in the past, and there isn't any room for him to really like judge Austin and Taylor's actions. Who's to say, right? But it was just like a great moment for them to like finally acknowledge that something happened between the two of them. I did love at the end when they walked back into Whitney's kitchen that Taylor was like, okay, Austin, did you fuck her? And obviously we know she was joking. She was probably just trying to like make light of the situation, but it was perfect. It was so funny. Guys, my favorite part is like the next day when they are like calling each other to gossip about what happened. So Madison calls Vanita. Craig is talking to JT. We see Austin goes to Taylor's house. And there's nothing better than when your friend calls you with gossip. And Vanita was like, oh, I'm just sitting on my porch drinking some wine. And Madison is like, okay, girl, well, I have to like tell you what happened last night. And Vanita's like, should I take a sip? And Madison goes, girl, chug it. And like, you know, that's when like the tea is piping hot. The gossip is going to be good. Like, chug that wine, sit back, get ready for what I'm about to tell you. She tells Vanita what happened. Craig and JT are talking about it. And Craig made a great point when he was talking to JT, because JT is like, does Shep forgive Austin? Like all of this stuff. And Craig said that like he probably thinks that because Taylor did something like nefarious, that like it gives him a clean slate. And I just said that, right, guys? Like I think the same thing. Like, okay, like he probably thinks that like she did something bad, so like it would negate like some of the stuff that I did bad, and maybe they can just like start over and be fresh or work towards some type of relationship. But I don't know, like, I don't know. And I feel like maybe, I don't know, guys. That's where I think his mindset is, but I don't think that's where Taylor's is whatsoever. We see that Olivia meets up with Leva, and Leva's like talking to Olivia about like the entire situation. And Taylor's like, Olivia is like maintaining that like she believes Taylor because Taylor's like maintaining the fact that like they didn't hook up. Olivia has asked her multiple times. Taylor has said no. So she's choosing to believe what her best friend says. Well, just you wait until the end of the episode, right, guys? Like it was wild. Like literally every single episode of Southern Charm so far this season has been chef's kiss, top tier. So obviously Austin has to tell Taylor that he told Shep what happened, and Taylor was like, what the fuck? Like they had this plan where they weren't going to say anything to any of their friends unless something actually came of their relationship. And Taylor literally said, like, hand on the Bible, I have not hooked up with Austin. Nothing has happened. Like, she's lied to her friends. He has also, like, said nothing has happened, but he also said, like, he feels like a weight is lifted after telling Shep that like they did actually kiss. So time to come clean, guys. And literally everyone's talking about it. So now the fact that like you guys are acknowledging that it happened, it's going to be like the talk of the town, right? But I feel bad for Olivia and the fact that like Taylor lied to her multiple times. Even though I've said before that like it didn't really seem that Olivia and Austin are actually exes, and the fact that like they were in a relationship, that they were just kind of dating, you know what I mean? But it still sucks because Taylor was straight up lying to her face and saying that like nothing happened. And Olivia's choosing to believe that. And I just think that like obviously the trust is going to be broken. Olivia had told Leva that if she finds out something did happen, that like it will be like the end of their friendship because Taylor has lied about this. Guys, it gets pretty wild when Madison shows up to Whitney and Patricia's house the day after all of this went down. And Madison tells Patricia, like, Austin admitted to making out with Taylor. Patricia dropped a bomb, right? She says, well, she sent a nude photo to Whitney, and Madison's jaw dropped. And Patricia says that she had heard this from one of Whitney's friends. She asked to see the photo, and there was like text on the photo that said like, come one, come all. Guys, I don't think Patricia would make that up. Do you? Like, that is seriously, who else was getting this photo? Like, wild, right? It's insane. It's very reminiscent of the Ken Todd moment where he walked into the kitchen while Katie and Lisa were talking and dropped the bomb about Rachel sleeping at Tom Sandoval's house. Insane. That seemed very staged, the Ken Todd and like Lisa thing. But this, I feel like Patricia was like, oh, well, like, I'm going to tell you what I know. Like, you're telling me about Austin and Taylor. I'm going to tell you that Taylor is sending nudes to my son. And God only knows who else, right? You never know. It was just amazing. Amazing timing. Patricia is like such a queen. I love her so much. We're just going to fast forward to the pheasant dinner. That was a shit show. It was wild. Also, it's got to be like a Southern thing, right? To eat pheasant. I loved earlier in the episode when Olivia was like telling Leva, like, oh, you're coming over to that dinner and like, you're going to eat that pigeon with me. Like, it was also very like, I found it disgusting when like Shep went to Olivia's house last episode and showed up with pheasant for her, but it still had feathers in it. Like, are you fucking kidding me? That's disgusting. Like, it's a lot. Like, that stuff is too gamey for me. I am very quick to like try new things and like eat like all different types of food, but I'm gonna stop at the pheasant where there's like they're cooking it and there's still bullets in it. Like that, no thank you. I'm good. I would have taken Shep up on the offer to order pizza when he said to Paige, I'll order you pizza. Speaking of, guys, Paige was literally amazing this episode. Like, her comments, everything was top tier. Loved seeing the side of her on Southern Charm. It was so good. Okay, the pheasant dinner. Taylor and Shep talk outside. They go to this beautiful home, and it looks like it's the home of one of Shep's friends. Taylor and Shep go outside to talk, and he is literally like, oh my God, like, I'm sure you've heard of the conversation that I had with Austin. She says yes. She says that she feels that she needs to apologize to him, but she doesn't owe him that, right? Like, she's saying that this happened between two single people that were in like a vulnerable point during a hard time in each of their like respective relationships. And she's like not mad about it, which is kind of like, contradictory to like what happens like later in the episode, because she's telling Shep that like she doesn't owe him an apology. They were two single people, all this stuff. But then like she has to confront Taylor about it. I'm sorry, Olivia. Taylor has to confront Olivia about it. And is she just going to tell her like she doesn't regret it? Like she doesn't feel sorry for it? Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing said to Shep and like another thing said to Olivia. I don't know. It's very confusing. But regardless, I did feel very bad for Olivia when she walked in. Obviously, everybody is talking about this. They all already know about it. And Austin's freaking out. Like, should I say something to Taylor? Should I I haven't had the chance to talk to her yet. And it was funny because Austin had asked Paige, like, do you think she's going to slap me in the face? And she was like, oh, a slap would be like generous. If it were me, I would cut your balls off. And that's what I love about Paige, is she just keeps it 100 all the time. It is so funny. Her comments were hilarious when she said like, they were asking her like for advice on what to do. And she was like, I literally can't believe that I have to control your guys' lives, like to Craig and Austin. It's just so funny because obviously Craig and Austin are best friends. They have the podcast together. Paige is probably always hanging out with the two of them and like talking to them about things. And to see it like in real life versus hearing it on the podcast, it just makes it that much better because she's constantly making like guest appearances on their pod. But I loved it. She told Austin he needs to be all the empathetic, etc. And just really needs to apologize to Olivia for what it was and then just leave it at that. Well, he is about to have to do that because Olivia walks in. She's the last person to arrive at this dinner. The poor girl literally couldn't even get her coat off before Taylor is like telling her like, oh, come here. I need to talk to you. I need to be honest with you. Do you want wine, red or white? Here's a glass. Let's talk. She fully admits to making out with Austin and then is like having this conversation with her 2 feet away from everybody, and everybody is listening. And she is like, I feel like I'm in a Twilight Zone, like all this stuff. I felt so bad because the girl couldn't even get her fucking jacket off. She's still having this conversation in her coat. She's probably been in the house for 5 minutes and this conversation is already happening. I did love that Paige was like telling the boys to be quiet because she was trying to listen. And she said like, shut up. Like, I'm trying to listen to this. Like, how am I supposed to like know what to tell people? Which, I mean, girls, same. Like, you want all the details because when you go back and gossip with your friends, you want to make sure you get the story right. Listen, I feel ya. It's like, who is not that way? They finally like kind of move away a little bit and go finish their conversation. And Olivia is literally like in shock and could not like really believe what was going on. Goddamn Shep goes and interrupts the conversation, telling them that dinner is ready and is like, hope I'm not like interrupting. Yes, you are. Let them make a good moment for television. You can eat your pigeon in a little while. Let them finish this conversation because who knows what else we would have gotten from that convo between them if he hadn't had interrupted. He is just like really trying too hard to like keep the peace and like he is like already okay with Austin. And he makes this awkward toast at the dinner. And he is just like, we all need to like remember that we're good people and like remember that. And it was just like, it was a disaster. It was so awkward. I literally was like, oh, this is like a cringy moment. And it's weird for Olivia because everybody is okay with what's going on. And if I were her, I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? You guys are all okay with this? And she's the only person, like odd man out, who is just hearing this. So they've probably had a day or two to kind of like come to terms with what has happened. And they're just expecting her to be okay with it when she found out 5 minutes after she walked into the door. Like, it's mind blowing. I really did feel bad for her. It's ridiculous. I was obsessed with the group arguing with each other at dinner. It was like Austin talking to Olivia, Shep talking to everyone. Shep and Craig got into it a little bit. And you see Paige and Rodrigo's boyfriend, Tyler, like, there's just too much going on. And Paige is like, this is like a tennis match, and you're going back and forth looking to see what's going on. What I would have given to be a fly on that wall or even be at that dinner table, that was amazing. They were all fighting with each other. And Olivia's like, what the fuck? Shep and Austin are good? Like, and literally everyone's like, yeah, the only people that aren't good are like you and Austin and you and Taylor. And it was just weird that Olivia had to sit next to Taylor at that dinner. And like, it was just too much. I will say Austin and Olivia did finally go out and have a conversation on the patio. He really wants to like be a friend to Olivia. He wants their relationship or their friendship to be in a better spot. She wants nothing to do with him. She literally said, like, we are further away from being friends now than we ever have been. And he is just trying to like reinforce it to her that like he believes that they are meant to have a friendship and they are meant to be like in each other's lives. And I believe him. I don't think that he is like, listen, guys, you guys know I'm an Austin stan. I don't think that he is like a bad person. I just think he does stupid shit. And it makes for great reality TV. But I want to know what happened where like she is saying that she is like upset with the way that he handled their friendship like months ago. Like what did he do that like kind of made her very upset with the way that he was handling the situation? There are so many questions that I have. It literally ended with her saying like, I want nothing to do with you. And you can't blame her at the moment, right? So it's only going to get better as like the episodes go on. Luckily for you, you don't have to wait long for next week's episode. I already posted the first 6+ minutes of next week's episode on my Instagram. And let me tell you guys, it's good. There's a great gossip session between Madison, Paige, and Craig, and a moment with Austin and his parents where he talks about what's going on. And you do not want to miss it. I cannot wait to recap next week's episode with you guys. So enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys next week.